So here we have a operating system 2 marks question from the paper GATE 2014, and it's based on the topic of CPU scheduling. So let's read the question. It says consider the following set of processes that needs to be scheduled on a single CPU, and all the times are given in milliseconds. So here we have 5 processes A, B, C, D, E, and there we have their arrival times and we have their execution times. Now, using the shortest remaining time first as a scheduling algorithm, let me mark it down. Shortest remaining time first as a scheduling algorithm, we have to calculate the average process turnaround time. Okay. So let me quickly just note down what is the turnaround time. What is the concept of turnaround time? It is nothing but process. So the time where the process is arriving, process arrival. Okay. From that arrival to process. Okay. From that arrival to the process completion. Okay, let me write it down here. Process completion. So from the point that the process arrives to the process gets completely executed, that time difference is called as turnaround time. So this is the turnaround time. Now what we are going to do is we are going to take every process and we will draw the Gantt chart of it, which will basically tell us what's happening with the processes with respect to CPU. So basically how they are running with the CPU running chart, let's call it CPU running chart. So we'll start with arrival 0. So process A arrives at 0, so this is my 0 and process A arrives. Now A has no harm till 3, till third second A will continue to run with the CPU. Now at 3, when B arrives, A has already completed 3 seconds, so A will be having 3 and B has arrived, which has 2 as execution time. So as per shortest remaining time first, A will get preempted and B will get the CPU. So B gets the chance here and A gets preempted. Now B has 2 seconds of arrival time, so it will continue till 5 and the next arrival of the process is 5. So anyway at 5 B gets completed. So let me strike out B gets out of the system. Now at now at 5th second we have two processes competing for CPU. One is the process C and one is process A. Now C is at 4 and A is at 3. So again we choose the shortest one. So A gets picked up. So let me write here A, and till next 7 seconds there is no problem. So A will run till from 5 till 7. So which means now 3 will reduce by 2. So only 1 is remaining. Now at the 7th second process D has arrived, which has time of 6 seconds, which is definitely more than the current process, which is 1. So A will continue to run till 8 and at 8 A will get completely terminated. So I will just strike it out. So 8 becomes the end time for A. Now after A and B, so A has gone out of the system, B has gone out of the system. Now we have 3 processes, C and D at the 8th second. E is yet to arrive. So we have 4 and we have 6. We choose the shortest one. So we pick up C, and C will run from 8 till 10. 8 till 10 C will run for 2 seconds. So let me cut it out and write 2 here. 2 will be remaining. Now at 10th second, we have E entering the system. And so we have to check the execution time of E. The execution time of E is 3, which is definitely more than the current process C. So C will continue to execute for another 2 seconds. So it will go till 12. So at 12, C will get completely executed and C will also go out of the system. So C also gets striked out. Let me clear off. So A, B, C, they are all gone. So I'm just clearing this mess. Okay. So now we have only 2 processes in the system. We have D and we have E. So 6 and 3. So again we'll go for shortest remaining time first. So by that algorithm E gets chosen and E will run for 3 seconds. So from 12 to 15 E will run. then E also gets striked out of the system, and then we have D remaining. So D runs for another, let me write here down D. D runs for another 6 seconds, so from 15 to 21, and that is when D also terminates. So let me do one thing, let me clear off the unnecessary numbers that we have written before. Let me clean this and this, and let's also erase this so that we can use it. Now what we have to do is we have to find out average process turnaround time. What is average process turnaround time? We process arrival, so these are our process arrival times. Now we want to note down process completion times, so let's start noting down process completion times. Okay, so for process A, as we can see, the completion time is 8, so I'll note down here 8. Okay, for process B, the completion time is 5, it got completed at 5, so I'll note down 5. Then for process C, the completion time is 12, so I'll note down 12 here. Then for process D, the completion time is 21, so I'll note down 21 here. And for process E, the completion time is 15, so I'll note down 15 here. Okay, so this becomes my process completion time. Let me zoom in here a bit. Yes, so this becomes my process completion time. And now I have to just calculate the difference between the process arrival and the process completion, and that will give me the turnaround time for each process. So for A it's 8, for B it's 2, for C it's 12 minus 5, which is 7, for D it's 21 minus 7, so it's 14, and for E it's 10 minus 15 minus 10, so it's 5. So this becomes my turnaround time for each and every process. And what they have asked is the average process turnaround time. So I have to just calculate the average. Let me calculate the average here. So it's nothing but 8 plus 2 plus 7 plus 14 plus 5 whole divided by 5. That is equal to 10 plus 7, which is 17, plus 14 plus 5 is 19 divided by 5. That is equal to 36 divided by 5, which is equal to 7.2. So my average process turnaround time becomes 7.2.